Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Faces of Nigeria. I am Temitope Popola. I have an interesting personality for you today. She is Benedicta Elechi, a 39-year-old graduate who dumped analytical chemistry for cooking. Interesting, right? Wow. Let's find out more about this wonderful woman.
My name is Benedicta Elechi. I am a mom of 5, a graduate of Rivers State University of Science and Technology. I studied analytical chemistry. I started out as an entrepreneur. That was in 2009 in Port Harcourt, where I started catering for friends and families. That was in 2009. And then in 2010, I started my own yogurt factory. And it evolved into the bakery. So we had Dicta Bakery, we had Dicta Cuisine, and Dicta Yogurt. So 3-in-1 businesses within the space of 3 years. It all started from my cooking, my love for cooking. I grew up in a home where my mom was a chef when we were growing up. She was a civil servant and a chef because she catered for friends, she catered for families, and as children, we had to help her out in the kitchen. And I found out that I loved cooking, compared to my other siblings. I would stay longer hours in the kitchen. I'll ask questions. I'll try to implement menus she has set out for her clients. And sometimes I'll come up with something, my own creation, out of nothing. Like I remember when I was in SS2, that was when I had my very first creation. It's fish toast. I called it fish toast, mashed potatoes and fish. Mackerel, fish, and potatoes, because then we always had abundance of fish and potatoes, and you could, eat fish, potatoes if you liked. And one day I got bored of the regular fries and mackerel fish, which can be boring, so I decided to mash it up, put in some spices and some herbs, and use some breadcrumbs, and it came out really nice. So that was my first creation, and my mom was like, wow, if you can do this at 15, maybe you might think of becoming a chef or, becoming a caterer. So I relocated to Lagos because I started a new family and I wanted to do what I did in Port Harcourt. I was so successful, I wanted to do it again in Lagos. This time around, when I started out in Lagos, I started out with a new brand, Taste Buds NG. Taste Buds NG might be a new brand, but it's basically a food company. Right now, we have started out with cooked food. We've started out with catering for events. We've started out with personalized cooking for clients. And eventually, we're going to evolve into other food ventures. A lot of times I felt like giving up on my dreams because of the multiple taxation from the government. That has always been one of the biggest setbacks. And I believe most entrepreneurs can relate with this. You have to pay taxes to the state government, to the federal government, the local government, the street touts. The taxes are many and are not all recorded by the government. Like the ones you pay to the Oniles or Omoniles and the rest, you have to pay them. Sometimes you don't pay them, they seal your working premises. They don't want to know if you've paid to the federal government. You still have to pay them. So that is so frustrating because We live in a country where the government right now is not really helping the SMEs. They are not. In terms of power, availability of financial aid, we don't have good roads, we don't have clean and regular water available. And if you're in the catering sector, you can relate with that. Power, clean and availability of water, it's a problem. And when you have all of this to source for as an entrepreneur without the government helping you out, and at the end of the day, you still have to pay taxes to different sectors of the government, it's a major setback. Some days you just come to work and you just want to call it a day and say, you know what, I'm throwing in the towels, I'm not doing this anymore. You know, theoretically, like I went to business school sometime in 2005 before I set up my first company. And they'll tell you that any business you're in and you're not making a minimum of 30% profit is not good business. Even Warren Buffett made that statement in one of his books, that any business you're making that doesn't give you a minimum of 30% profit is not good business. Say bye-bye to that business and start some other thing. And in catering, people have this ideology that it is so profitable. You know, you have 100% profit margin. Wow, that's not true. What I'll say is that it is as profitable as you want to make it. If you're very good with if you're very good with your business acumen, like you know how you source for raw materials, you know how much overhead you must not exceed in a month, and you know how much turnover you set for yourself as a target every month, you might make between 25 and 40% profit monthly from your turnover. You should be able to make between 25 and 40% profit. If it's slightly more than that, then you're very lucky. But in all, I'm not going to say it's a bad business. It is not. But if you're in it for the profit aspect, you might be disappointed, especially within the first 2 to 3 years. It is almost not profitable at all. What drives you within the first 2 to 3 years in catering or in chefing is your passion for it. First, it's very tasking. It's very energy sapping. You put in a lot of hours. So it takes someone that is deeply passionate about cooking to remain in this line of business. I wouldn't advise anyone that is not passionate about cooking to go into this line of business, because, like I said, you need to be passionate about it, because it's not profitable the first few years you start out. It's not profitable. So what drives you is your passion, your flair for it. So if you're a young person or you are an adult and you really do not know what to do with your life, I'll advise you to search within yourself, find out what makes you happy, find out what you really like to do, find out what your passion lies in, and follow your passion. If cooking is not your passion, then you shouldn't dabble into this line of business, because it takes passion to fuel it. I would like to be remembered for the people I have influenced their lives positively by helping them find their path in life in terms of counseling. It might be helping them to start up their own businesses by teaching them what I have learned in my own line of business. Like, we're looking at starting a culinary academy, Taste Buds NG. We're starting a culinary academy first quarter of next year, because we've been having a lot a lot of Facebook messages, DMs, WhatsApp messages, phone calls. It's a whole lot of people from within Nigeria, Canada, Dubai. They want to join us online to learn how to cook Nigerian food. Some want to join us in person. Some people want to join us in person to learn how to cook. So I see a void in this sector. I see a void in this business I'm in. A lot of people just want to be better chefs for their wives, for their husbands at home. Some want to be better cooks for themselves. And some people also want to start up their own food business. So I want to impact that into people's lives. You know, first quarter next year, we're looking at starting out so we can help people that want to start this line of business and people that just want to be better chefs. And we want to start classes for Catch Them Young. We want little girls to also learn how to cook, those that are interested, and parents that would love for the young ones to learn how to cook. So we want to start this first quarter next year. That way we'll be giving back to the society as well.
That was Taste Buds, Benedicta Elechi. Interesting, right? Do you have a story to share with us? Do you know somebody with exceptional ability or something that would, make a spark out there? Why not reach out to us via info@cup.9.com? I will take it up from there. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Till next week, see ya.